Imagine living in a world where every desire is instantly satisfied. Pleasure is just a click away, scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, or indulging in fast food. But have you ever wondered if too much pleasure could be a silent trap? Aldous Huxley, in his prophetic work Brave New World, warned us about a society obsessed with comfort and gratification, a world where people are enslaved not by force, but by their desires. His vision was not just fiction, it's becoming our reality. In today's digital age, we're constantly seeking dopamine hits from likes, notifications, and endless entertainment. But beneath the surface of pleasure lies a hidden pricier cost we don't often realize until it's too late. Excessive indulgence in artificial pleasures dulls our senses, weakens our willpower, and blinds us to the deeper meaning of life. The pursuit of happiness through external gratification often leaves us feeling emptier than before. In this video, we'll explore the hidden price of pleasure in the modern world through the lens of Huxley's insights. We'll uncover how modern pleasures reshape our minds and society, and what it takes to break free. Stay till the end, because what you'll discover might change how you see the world forever. Imagine coming home after a long day. You're tired, and instead of reading that book you've been meaning to finish, you grab your phone and scroll endlessly through social media. You tell yourself, just 5 minutes, but before you know it, an hour has passed. Sound familiar? This is the modern pleasure trap, where instant gratification hijacks your brain and weakens your willpower, leaving you stuck in a cycle that's hard to break. Our brains are wired for immediate rewards. Thousands of years ago, this instinct helped our ancestors survive by encouraging them to seek food and safety. But in today's world, where pleasure is available at the tap of a screen, this instinct works against us. Whether it's binge-watching Netflix, mindlessly scrolling, or indulging in junk food, each act releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter that creates a feeling of pleasure. The problem: the more we indulge in these quick fixes, the more our brains crave them. Over time, our willpower weakens, making it harder to focus on tasks that require effort and patience. Consider this: you decide to start exercising or learn a new skill, but after a few days of effort, the initial excitement fades and the discomfort sets in. Your brain, conditioned by instant gratification, craves an easier alternative. So, you procrastinate by seeking pleasure, watching TV, playing games, or scrolling endlessly, anything to avoid the discomfort of growth. This cycle not only weakens your willpower, but also robs you of long-term satisfaction. A study conducted at Stanford University demonstrated this phenomenon through the famous marshmallow test. Children were given the choice between eating one marshmallow immediately or waiting for a bigger reward later. The results showed that those who resisted the urge and delayed gratification were more successful in life. But in a world where instant gratification is everywhere, resisting that urge is becoming increasingly difficult. The real danger lies in the fact that the more we give into these pleasures, the harder it becomes to pursue meaningful goals. Our brain, accustomed to easy rewards, loses interest in activities that require sustained effort. This weakens not just our willpower, but also our resilience and discipline. But what if the cycle of pleasure was more than just a personal struggle? What if, as Aldous Huxley warned in Brave New World, pleasure itself was being used as a tool to control and pacify society? In the next section, we'll explore Huxley's warning, pleasure as a tool of control, and uncover the deeper implications of living in a world where pleasure rules. Imagine a world where people are too content to question anything, to entertain, to notice the erosion of their freedom. This isn't a dystopian fantasy, it's the chilling prediction Aldous Huxley made in Brave New World. While George Orwell's 1984 warned us of control through fear and oppression, Huxley's vision was more insidious: control through pleasure. He believed that when people are constantly distracted by comfort, entertainment, and shallow pleasures, they become passive and indifferent to the world around them. Think about it, how often do we escape reality by diving into endless streams of social media, binge-watching shows, or indulging in online shopping? We are bombarded with entertainment designed to keep us engaged, but not necessarily enlightened. Huxley's fear was that people wouldn't need to be oppressed by force. Instead, they would willingly surrender their autonomy in exchange for constant pleasure. And isn't that exactly what we see today? Take, for example, the way modern algorithms work. Social media platforms are engineered to keep us hooked, feeding us content that triggers dopamine hits and keeps us scrolling. The more engaged we are, the less we question what's happening around us. Governments and corporations don't need to force compliance when people are too distracted to resist. This is the essence of Huxley's warning. When society is consumed by pleasure, critical thinking declines, and control becomes effortless. Consider how easy it is to ignore important societal issues when we're caught in a cycle of instant gratification. Instead of engaging in meaningful conversations or standing up against injustice, we retreat into the comfort of entertainment. Huxley predicted a future where people would be so immersed in superficial pleasures that they would no longer care about their own oppression, and perhaps that future has already arrived. But the danger doesn't stop at societal control. On a personal level, when we seek constant pleasure, we use the ability to tolerate discomfort, making us more vulnerable to manipulation. Pleasure becomes a trap, making us less resilient and more susceptible to external influence. Imagine indulging in your favorite dessert. The first bite is heavenly, the second still delightful, but by the fifth or sixth bite, the magic starts to fade. This simple experience reveals a profound truth about pleasure: it diminishes over time. Aldous Huxley warned that an overabundance of pleasure doesn't lead to lasting happiness. Instead, it traps us in a cycle where the pursuit of more pleasure ultimately leaves us feeling empty and dissatisfied. Think about how often we seek instant gratification in our daily lives. We scroll endlessly through social media, watch one more episode of a series, or shop for things we don't really need. Each of these activities gives us a brief dopamine hit, but the more we engage in them, the less fulfilling they become. It's like chasing a high that never quite satisfies. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation tendency for us to quickly return to a baseline level of happiness, no matter how pleasurable the experience. Consider this: you buy a new smartphone. At first, you're thrilled by its sleek design and new features, but within weeks, that excitement fades, and soon, you're already eyeing the next model. This cycle repeats endlessly, leaving us trapped in a loop where we need more to feel the same level of satisfaction. Paradoxically, the more pleasure we seek, the less happy we become over time. Huxley understood this paradox well. He foresaw a society where people would be drowned in trivial pleasures, unable to recognize that their constant pursuit of pleasure was making them less happy. In a world where entertainment is available 24/7, it's easy to fall into this trap. We mistakenly believe that if we just have a little more likes, more followers, more possessions, we'll finally be happy. But instead of finding fulfillment, we find ourselves feeling increasingly restless and disconnected. The truth is, when we seek constant pleasure, we weaken our ability to endure discomfort, and without discomfort, there's no real growth or meaning. Pleasure, when overindulged, numbs us to life's deeper joys. Real happiness often comes from challenges, growth, and meaningful connections, things that require effort and patience, not just immediate gratification. But here's the deeper question: are we really free if we're addicted to comfort? In the next section, we'll explore the illusion of freedom. Are we addicted to comfort? And uncover how our pursuit of pleasure might be quietly enslaving us. Imagine waking up in a world where everything is at your fingertips, food delivered instantly, entertainment available 24/7, and even relationships managed with a few swipes. It feels like freedom, doesn't it? But what if this freedom is actually a carefully crafted illusion? Aldous Huxley predicted that in the future, people wouldn't need to be oppressed by, force would be enslaved by their own desires for comfort and convenience. That future is now. Think about how often we choose the path of least resistance. When we're tired, we binge-watch Netflix instead of reading a thought-provoking book. When we're stressed, we scroll endlessly through social media rather than addressing the root cause of our anxiety. When faced with challenges, we often choose to escape rather than confront. This addiction to comfort makes us feel like we're in control because we're choosing what makes us feel good. But in reality, we're being controlled by our own avoidance of discomfort. Consider how technology has made life easier, but not necessarily more fulfilling. Smart devices allow us to automate everything, from turning on lights to ordering groceries. But while these conveniences save us time, they also rob us of the small challenges that used to give life meaning. For instance, cooking a meal used to be a process on experience that engaged our senses and brought families together. With food delivery apps, that moment is reduced to a few taps on a screen. The result, we gain comfort but lose connection and satisfaction. Huxley's warning was that too much comfort numbs the mind and weakens the will. When everything is easy, we stop striving, and when we stop striving, we stop growing. True freedom isn't about avoiding discomfort, it's about having the power to choose discomfort when necessary to achieve something meaningful. But in a world where comfort is the default, we rarely make that choice. The scary truth is that addiction to comfort creates a mental prison where we mistake convenience for freedom. We believe we're free because we can indulge in anything we want, but in reality, we're enslaved by the very things that make life too easy. But what happens when you break free from this comfort trap? In the next section, escaping the pleasure prison, reclaiming purpose and meaning, we'll explore how stepping away from constant gratification can lead to a life filled with true purpose and fulfillment. Imagine standing at the gates of a luxurious prison where everything you desire is at your fingertips. The walls are invisible, but they're built with constant pleasure, Netflix binges, endless scrolling, junk food, and mindless entertainment. It feels like paradise at first, but over time, the emptiness creeps in. You begin to wonder, is this all there is? Welcome to the pleasure prison, a place where comfort traps you and keeps you from discovering true meaning. Imagine standing at the gates of a luxurious prison where everything you desire is at your fingertips. The walls are invisible, but they're built with constant pleasure, Netflix binges, endless scrolling, junk food, and mindless entertainment. It feels like paradise at first, but over time, the emptiness creeps in. You begin to wonder, is this all there is? Welcome to the pleasure prison, a place where comfort traps you and keeps you from discovering true meaning. Think of someone who trained for a marathon. The early mornings, sore muscles, and mental exhaustion weren't pleasurable, but crossing that finish line brought a deep sense of fulfillment. Compare that to spending the same amount of time watching TV. The comfort was immediate, but did it leave a lasting sense of achievement? The truth is, Real purpose requires effort, sacrifice, and delayed gratification. Escaping the pleasure prison means consciously choosing to embrace discomfort in pursuit of something greater. It's about replacing mindless consumption with intentional action. Instead of numbing loneliness with social media, invest time in building meaningful relationships. Rather than escaping boredom with endless scrolling, engage in activities that challenge your mind. These choices might not bring immediate pleasure, but they lead to lasting satisfaction. Aldous Huxley warned that a society consumed by comfort would use its ability to seek higher meaning. But the good news, you have the key to unlock the door. Start by asking yourself, what is one thing I can do today that adds meaning to my life? It could be learning a skill, helping someone, or pursuing a passion that challenges you. Each step out of the pleasure prison strengthens your will and reconnects you with your true purpose. As we conclude, ask yourself, are you truly free, or are you a prisoner of comfort? The choice to break free and reclaim meaning is yours, but the real question is, will you take it?